You know, whether it's niihau shells in Hawaii or gold coins or bronze coins from the ancient Near East, one of the oldest hallmarks of human society is our exchange of goods. Call it a market of sorts, and the commodities that are passed from person to person, often through some form of trade, either bartering or some capitalism. Even in the ancient world, right? A way to monetize and make for our society, the exchange of goods and time. So ordinary is it that in this gospel lesson that we've just heard, Jesus sets up a conundrum for his disciples. They know that there is no way that they can participate in the ordinary exchange of goods to provide for the needs of the people that are gathered. And so when Jesus asks them, where are we going to buy enough food? They quickly say, 6 months' wages, Lord. Wouldn't buy enough for everybody to have even just a little. Jesus knows that the ordinary economics of society, while they facilitate so much of our life, actually don't meet all the needs of our lives. And so gathered on that hillside are the sick and the poor that have seen all that he's doing, and they come out because they have nowhere else to turn. So they're turning to the one person and the hope that they have left. And for that community, ordinary economics just doesn't cut it. And so Jesus reminds his disciples of something also ancient, but so easily forgotten. While trade and market make for society, generosity and gift have always been the economy of community and family. More naturally, we say it, in fact, the other way around. Generosity and gift have been the ordinary economy of the family. And what we forget is that they are also the ordinary economy of community. You see, community picks up where society can't. Where society begins to fall apart, where people are left to fall either to themselves or between the cracks of the society that exists. Community, through generosity and gift, have historically stepped in. It's never as easy or as well organized as the society is. In the ancient world, in the first century, when the Christian community was just beginning, the Christian community was trying to figure it out as well, to step into those places of care and generosity that the society couldn't manage. Care for orphans and widows were among the first. Just this past week, we heard of the story, we heard the reminder through Acts of the Apostles of the generosity of the early church community dealing with the poor in a famine. Taking up a collection throughout all of Asia Minor to care for the poor and the hungry in Jerusalem. Always around society's normal economics of trade has been the demands of and the gift of generosity through community. And this story of the loaves and fishes reminds us of how essential that other economy is to the care of our community. It is through generosity that sons and daughters, husbands and wives care for one another. Not only in the nuclear family of a childhood, but in the aged family of an aging parent. The generosity of a child now for a mother, just as a mother's generosity once cared for a child. But it's not just in the nuclear family. It's generosity and care that continues to uphold the poor and the suffering within our society. Today's story of the loaves and fishes and today's service of loaves and fishes reminds us that we are invited to participate in that economy still today. Not just for those nearest to us, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, but for the members of our community, ensuring that they do not fall through the cracks, either to be forgotten or left to their own devices. Today's story, however, reminds us of two other things. The disciples turn and they look and they see this young boy, say, well, there's this young man, he's got 5 loaves and 2 fishes, but what is that for all of this need? The story reminds us that generosity and gift isn't an individual responsibility or task. That no one of us can fill all of the needs of community for our loved ones or our society. But it equally reminds us that we still play a part. That young boy, little that he had, began something remarkable on that day, sparking a gift of generosity from a whole community gathered. So that what couldn't be done through the economics of the day, 6 months' wages, couldn't do this, Lord. And what couldn't be done by an individual, what are these 5 loaves and 2 fish for so many? Could remarkably be done through the economics of generosity and gift by all. And so we're invited on this day to remember that there is this other remarkable economy about us. It has been part of our lives since the day we were born, and I pray it will be part of our lives until the day that we die, that we will know the gift of community caring for and sustaining us. It's also a reminder that we have a part to play within it. To give of ourselves, not only for those closest and dearest to us, but for this community of which we are part. This community of Christ Church, yes, but this community too of Grosse Pointe and Metro Detroit. These are our people, and we are called to care for them. May we take up not only the means of capital and trade, even more, may we take up the means of generosity and grace and participate in God's economy, which is eternal.